you see the eyes of the male deer, they're proud and they walk the same way. The male deer. Their eyes are also soft, they're vegetarians, they're gentle look, but not so innocent, so charming. They don't have that charming quality of the female deer, Mrigakshi. In that circle, that Akhanda Mandala around Krishna, Jago Kalam Sham, Jago Kalam Sham, that mandala of the deer was all females, were near and dear Krishna. The near and dear to Krishna. The near dear to Krishna. And then Krishna played more than the peacocks because the deer can easily come. At midnight, the deer sometimes wander here and there at nighttime, especially when the full moon is there. Deer are a little restless type of animal. They're slightly restless. Deer, the Mrigakshi Pashu, are chanchal. So they wander here. If it's not full moon, they're a little bit restive. But when a full moon, they wander here and there, looking for some berries or seeds or something to nibble on, some leaves that maybe blossom under the moonlight or something. So the female deer were there. Now the peacocks are way high in the trees, in the different trees, in the palasha trees, kadamba trees, and bakul, all the big trees of Braj, neem trees. They're way up in the high branches at 12 o'clock at night because they're sleeping safely. The peacocks sleep in the high branches of the trees. So they had a long way to come down to the forest floor to be next to Krishna. So they were a little late in getting there. So Krishna's playing his flute, trying to call the gopis, who are so beautiful and dance. They're such wonderful dancers. Srimati Radharani is known as Gandharvika, Gandharvika Radha, because she dances like a celestial goddess. Such elegance, such refinement, such precision in her every mudra and movement, unseen before in the entire universe. No Apsara, no celestial Devi can come even close to matching the artistry and beauty and dynamic expression of Radharani's love dance for her Sham in the Ras Leela. Gandharvika Radha. She's the origin of all the Gandharvas. All the Apsaras and Apsaris, their talents in music, their talents in dance and performing are only a drop from the ocean of Radharani's unlimited Ananta Kala. Radharani's Ananta Kala, unlimited talents and attributes and musical Sangeet Visharad. She's expert at singing, dancing, music, all the arts. Radha's expert. Daksha, she's expert. So she dances. So when Krishna called, again, all the peacocks came down, the male and female. Now, the male peacocks were in the inner circle around Krishna, the male peacocks. And the female were outside of their husbands, their mates, watching respectively and encouragingly. Then Krishna's playing his flute. I wanted to call the doe-eyed gopis. I was practicing the power, the karshan, the Vamsi karshan, the power of my flute. I was practicing how much can I control the seasons. Already for several weeks I'm coming out playing the flute and the moon is rising. I'm here, I've finally got out of my house at 12 o'clock. Usually the moon at this time of the year rises at 7 p.m. It rises at 8 o'clock. I couldn't sneak out of my house. There was entertainment. There was my evening meal at 9 o'clock, and entertainment, and meeting with my family and my uncles and chacha and all these things, whoever. My father's brothers. And then I finally, at 12 o'clock, I came out. But the moon at that night was going to rise even later. So I wanted to see, does my flute playing have the karshan to call and control the moon? The moon has not risen yet. The moon immediately heard the command and call of Krishna's flute. The power of his Icha Shakti, his desire, his Satya Sankalpa Shakti, his will to make everything possible. Immediately the moon appeared out of nowhere. Yes. Wonderful. Vamsi, Vamsi. Very good. Chandradev, Pranam. Chandrama. Exactly, you stay there. Now you stay there. Okay, good. So now Krishna learned how to control the moon. The moon immediately became a huge spotlight, illuminating the entire Rasamandal and stimulated everyone's heart. Anyone who bathed in those rays of the moon becomes stimulated. How do you become stimulated and excited with romantic desires if you never come in the moonshine? If you lock yourself up in your city apartment, thousands, as they say in India, in the culture of American Indians, when someone asks an American Indian, a native, an Adivasi of America, the original inhabitants were somehow called Indians because the very intelligent navigator thought that he arrived in India, but he didn't know how to drive his boat very well. So he thought it was Bombay, but it was actually Ahmedabad. Like you drive your car to Bombay and you end up in Gujarat and you get out, is this Bombay? I said, Bombay? This is Ahmedabad. You're in Gujarat. Oh, I think I'm not good at driving. So Christopher Columbus, he got a big donation from Queen Isabel of Portugal. He said, I will find a fast way to India to get spices, gold, and all the good things. She said, okay, here's some money. So then he sailed off and he was a little bit, maybe, sailors tend to get drunk, as you know. And he was a little drunk and he ended up in America. And he said, it's India! And all of a sudden arrows started coming over his head. What's this? At any rate. So Krishna learned the power of controlling the flute. Control the moon. Oh, what's one of Krishna, or is Krishna's favorite flower? Malika Fool. Malika Fool. Why? Because of the attributes. All flowers are Krishna's favorite. All flowers that serve Krishna are fragrant, or at least they're supposed to be. We only offer Krishna beautiful, fragrant. They must be fragrant. The Mukhya Gandha, the Sarup Gandha, the Srup Lakshana of a fool is fragrance. Color, design, shape are secondary. They're the Tatastha Lakshana. The Tatastha and Sarup Lakshana is the fragrance. Saurabh, Sugandhi. Sometimes the Malis sell these garlands with little white flowers on it. They smell like weeds. They smell like nothing. When people buy them and they offer them, it's an aparad. It's an aparad to offer a garland that is not fragrant to the deity. Anybody can sell you anything because it's Kali Yuga and they'll cheat you. Oh yes, very nice mala. How much is that gulab full? Gulab mala. Well, that's 100 rupees. Oh, that's very much. How much is that white one? Well, that's only 20. Oh, give me the 20 rupee one. Safed wala. And some of those safed walas, of course, are Juhi and Bela or Mogra or Malika, and they're very nice and sweet and fragrant. And some are Nakli. Nakli safed. You say Nakli. Nakli mala. And they're mixed in there because, you know, every businessman has two types of products. Asli, Saman, and Nakli. Do you think that the flower sellers in Vrindavan are not businessmen? They are businessmen, and they sell Nakli garlands. Sometimes people offer me after class, they offer me a Nakli mala, some white mala. It's cheap, it stinks. It stinks. It doesn't smell. It doesn't smell good, it stinks. Oh, that's very nice, thank you. Because we accept the bhav. Bhava grahi janardan. But our bhav includes gyan. Because bhav is the highest expression of bhakti vigyan. Bhav doesn't come until one has realized the depths of bhakti vigyan. Bhakti sadhan, then bhakti gyan, Gita gyan, knowledge of Gita, knowledge of Bhagavatam, and intense bhakti. Tivrena bhakti yogena, tivrena bhakti, very intense, powerful, concentrated, determined, long, many years and lifetimes to bhakti. Then becomes bhakti vigyan. Then as you're transiting from bhakti gyan or bhakti vidya and studying shastra sodhyaya, shastra shravan, and your bhakti is your shraddha is increasing, and your bhakti is deepening and thickening, then your bhakti passes through anartha nivriti, cleansing, purifying, elevating stage. Self-control. You learn self-control. Who says they have Vajra Vegam, Manasakota Vegam? This is step 2, 3 in bhakti. Gyan, sadhana, surrender, tapa, self-control. Dhamma. Dhamma means sense control. And that's all transiting between the bhakti vigyan, bhakti gyan and bhakti vigyan. Bhakti gyan goes in artha-nivriti, then nishta, steadiness. And then when ruchi starts, actually ruchi, Nam Ruchi, Katha Ruchi, Vaishnav Ruchi. Then we start Bhakti Vigyan. realization. And Bhakti Vigyan increases more, Achar increases more love, more appreciation, more understanding, Yama Niyam. Then you go from Ruchi to Asakti, then Bhav. So Bhav, this is the fullest expression of Bhakti Vigyan. Bhav. Jago Kalam Bhamadrisham. The peacocks gathered around Krishna. The male peacocks were near him. And they understood because everyone knows the heart of the master. The servants, the true servants of the master, they know the heart. Heart means what? Desire. Heart means what? Feeling. Desire and feeling. Our hearts are full of desire. Our hearts are full of feelings. Happy, sad. I want this. I want that. I don't want this. Desire and feelings, our heart. So these servants know the heart, the desire and the feelings of the master. The Vrindavan, the peacocks of Vrindavan are the pure devotee servants of Krishna. They're premi bhaktas. They're living in Golok Dham, Nitya Dham. The peacocks, they're not birds, they're not paki. The paki of Vrindavan are not paki, they're devotees, they're bhaktas. They're premis. They have bhav. They have braja bhav, braja prem for Radha and Krishna. Gwal and Gopi and Gwal. They're Vishesh Paki, they're Dibya Paki, transcendental birds of Vrindavan. They're in the spiritual world with Krishna. So Krishna likes the peacocks so much because when he sees the male peacocks that are standing around him, when they first came, their fan tails were closed. Their tail was closed and folded and behind them. It was extending behind them. And when Krishna is standing there, he was practicing his flute a few days before Sharad Purnima, Jago Kalam, to see if his flute he had developed the expertise in playing to be able to attract the doe-eyed gopis and control the Ritu Isha. He wanted to control the seasons, Ishvara, Ish. He controlled the movements of the moon. Is there any yogi, any mystic yogi that can control the sun or the moon? Stop an eclipse? Can anyone do it? No. No one can stop what do they call it? Grahan something. Grahan. But what's the planet called? What's the name for planet? A planet. I didn't say sun planet. A planet. Grahan. Grahan. An eclipse of the planet. English is an eclipse of the planet or eclipse of the moon. So what do you say in Hindi? Say one word to mean both. Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. So when the peacock feathers are closed and they gather around Krishna and Krishna sees the Akhanda Mandala, he said, oh, all these peacocks have gathered here, the male, with their feathers closed. This reminds me of the beautiful Beni of Radha. Her long tresses, her long hair, her kesh hanging behind her head. It reminds me of the tail of a peacock. When I see the long, extended, glossy, the punch, more punk, what's the tail? Punch. The punchari, you know punchari? It's the tail of Govardhan, the edge. So the more punch, the tail, the long, closed tail of the male peacock is very glossy and very shiny and colorful and iridescent. And that's the sheen and the shine of Radharani's long black beni hanging down her hair. So when Krishna sees that, the tail of the peacock surrounding him when he's practicing his flute before the rasa dance to get so good at playing flute, and all the males gathered around him at 12:30 one night, he thought, this Akhanda Mandalam, more punch Akhanda Mandalam all around him. He thought, oh, I'm surrounded by the long, glossy, shiny, beautiful black braids of Radharani and all the Sakhis. They're around me on all sides, because later when Krishna dances in the rasa dance, with his arms and the shoulders of one gopi, another gopi, and their arms around his waist, he will glance this way and he'll see their beautiful beni hanging down this way and that way. On all sides of Krishna, he's surrounded by these beautiful peacock-like, the tail feathers of the peacock. It reminds him of the extended. So there's another Udipan to stimulate his anticipation of meeting the gopis and having union in the rasa dance. So he becomes so happy. And he said, my flute is successful. I've controlled the moon. I've controlled the seasons. I brought summer flowers. I made my flute. Hey, Vamsi, very good. Oh, Vamsi, oh, Devi, your power is great. You're getting so much power. You were able to make the springtime flowers blossom in autumn at midnight. The Malik only blossom in midday. In spring, in summer. Now it's fall. And the moon has risen instantly in the middle, top of the sky and not moving. And the white lotuses, all these arrangements. Now the deer have come, the deer-eyed gopis, the mrigakshi. And the peacocks have come. So what is the analogy here? The doe-eyed deer are the gopis, and the peacock is Krishna. So you have, who is close? First comes very close to Krishna, a kanda mandalam of deer, females. Doe-eyed gopis come first. Krishna called girls. He called the gopis, right? Ramanis. He was practicing. So females came to him, but they weren't the female gopis. They were female deer. Like the gopis had mrigakshi, doe-eyed gopis. And these pashu, these beasts, these animals of the forest, they have doe eyes. And they're surrounding him in Kandamandalam. Close, but not quite the gopis he intended, but females. Then he played more, then right after that came males. So the symbology, imagery is, first all the gopis gathered around Krishna, and then there were so many gopis gathered around Krishna Rasamandal, then he had to expand himself. And then the male peacocks came to represent Krishna in the imagery. And they danced, they made a circle around with all the deer. One deer, one peacock, one deer. That means one gopi, one Krishna. Because Krishna wears more punk. More punk, a peacock feather, more punk in his pugri, a peacock feather on top of his turban. This is a symbol of Krishna, special symbol. Vishnu doesn't wear, Ram doesn't wear, only Krishna. Of all the Bhagavans, Krishna wears the more punk. So the more gathered around Krishna represent Krishna. And so many Krishnas. Each peacock is an expansion of Krishna to be with each deer, which are the gopis in the analogy. This is from the commentary. So all this Udipan and instigation, inspiration of Rasa Leela, practically Krishna is experiencing the Rasa Leela and separation, and that's exactly what Udipan does. Udipan are environmental factors, the moonshine, the flowers, the deer, the arrangement, this female and that male deer, whatever, that make one, inspire one's Madhurya Rati, one's eternal conjugal love for the gopis, in this case, Krishna's Madhurya Rati. They inspire remembrance of the name of the beloved. They inspire remembrance of the form of the beloved. They inspire remembrance of the qualities of the beloved. And they inspire remembrance of the leelas with the beloved. Be with the Brajaramanis, Radha, and the gopis. Krishna had so many rasa dances. But in this story, in the Maharaj, it's depicting the Purva Rag of Radharani and gopis, and in the Vamsi, the Venugit, and so many, it's like in Naralila. So now Krishna is practicing. He feels Vamsi Sakhi is very successful. And he's practicing, but the gopis didn't come. He said, I have to go back. It's getting late. So he went back. And again he tried, a few days before Purnima. So he practiced playing the flute very intently, wanting to call the Sakhis, just to see. And he practiced and he practiced. And the deer came as before. The peacock came as before. And this time the peacocks, they gathered around and they fanned their tails. They didn't keep their tails closed to remind him of the gopis. That all the male peacocks were on all Krishna's sides like this, fanning with their tails. And the peacocks, when the male peacock, he fans and opens his beautiful iridescent green and blue tail, there's a special feature. Each feather in the tail of a male peacock has what appears to be an eye. There's an eye there. And inside the eye, there's like a chandra. There's like inside the eye, there's a design of an Ardha Chandra, of a moon, if you've ever seen a peacock feather. When Krishna saw all those male peacocks around him with their fan tails, he said, look at look at the eyes of the gopis. They're so mystical, so dark, bluish and black and so iridescent and shining. Oh, thousands of gopis, age Radha, piche Radha, daya, bhaya, everywhere Radha, Radha. And he became ecstatic. He said, oh, my Vamsi, the gopis are here. He thought the gopis were there. He went mad. This is his Vibram, Prem Vibram, with simply male peacocks with fan tail feathers all around. You see? Radha. He's like Ardachan. So then he says, oh, these are all the gopis' eyes, thousands of loving eyes, thousands of giving eyes, thousands of romantic eyes, thousands of amorous, pure-hearted, loving, dedicated eyes of my Brajaramanis. Radha, Vishaka. And he went crazy. And Krishna went practically Vibram. And he started playing his flute and dancing. As he's dancing ecstatically, great Anand, Ulas. Then the male peacocks started dancing. And as they were dancing, their feathers are going like this. Then as he's seeing the eyes, he's seeing this Ardha Chandra. And the Ardha Chandra is the shape of Krishna's tilak, his Chandan tilak. And Krishna's tilak is like Ardha Chandra with a bindu on his forehead, like a crescent moon. And he looks in the peacock feather and says, these are the gopis all around me, and I'm dancing in the middle of the gopis. Then he says, wait a minute, that's me, that Ardha Chandra. I'm seeing the eyes of the gopis, but in the eyes of the gopis, I'm seeing my face. That's the Ardha Chandra on my forehead. I'm here. Am I here? These are gopis? Am I here or I'm there? I'm seeing the eyes of the gopis. But in the eyes of the gopis, I'm seeing me, because that's the reality of Kishore and Kishori. Because in the eyes, when Krishna looks in the eyes of Radha, who does he see? He sees himself. And when Radha looks in the eyes of Krishna Kishore, she sees herself. Because Krishna sees Radha everywhere and never loses sight of her and always remembers her. And Radha sees Krishna everywhere and never loses sight of him and always remembers him. Remembers, how can I serve him? How can I love him? When and where will I meet him? How will I please him and serve him in this way and that way and this way and that way? And Krishna feels the same way towards Radha. This is in the Vamadrisham of Krishna. Jago kalam Vamadrisham Manoharam. So see how Krishna himself, although Krishna is called Makanchor, Manohar Krishna, he himself has become Manohar by his own Jagokalam. Jagokalam means Krishna expertly plays the flute, and he's practicing, and deer come, his mind becomes enchanted, forgetful. Then the peacocks come. Then again he practices to call the gopis. Now it's another feature of the same presentation, the doe-eyed gopis in the form of deer. And Mor Mukut Sham, Parhapita Mora, this Krishna with the peacock feather, he sees himself, then he really becomes Manoharam. He himself is not only the object, but he becomes the object of Manoharam. Jagokalam, Vamadrisham, Manoharam. The Krishna's mind, heart becomes stolen by the vision he has when he sees the deer. He thinks they're the gopis. And he sees the male peacock with their fan peacock tails and the eyes of the gopis in those tails, feathers. And he sees his own face with that mark inside the eye on the peacock feather, which looks like Ardha Chandra, his tilak. Then he becomes very much Manoharam. He loses his mind. He becomes Vibram, Prem Vibram. Madhurya, Prem Vibram. He becomes, what am I seeing? And he starts dancing and he can't control himself. It's ecstatic. Dancing, nritya, it's an anubhav of his ecstasy. And the peacocks are dancing. And he feels, yes, this is the Kanda Mandal. Yes, this is the Ras Leela. And the peacocks dancing around me. I don't see peacocks. I see eyes of thousands of gopis. And I see their beautiful hair. The feathers is actually the beautiful braids swaying this way and that way. And I'm dancing and I'm playing my flute, Jago Kalam. 29.3 of the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. So he's practicing his flute. Now again, 3 days before Rasa Leela, Krishna comes again. After recovering from that Prem Vibram, that sporty, that incredible vision of the Rasa Leela seen in deer and peacock, Udipan becomes reality. Dream becomes vision. Vision becomes a dream. Vision, reality becomes a vision. And dream becomes, it's like interplaying. Radharani's she's sleeping in Barsana. Then, in the middle of the night, 1 o'clock at night, she has a spurti in her subconscious. Swapna vilas amritam. Sleeping and tasting nectar. Usually you have to be awake. You're awake and you pick up some somaras if you're a deva. 1 glass of somaras and you drink it, the nectar. Refreshing, tasty, vitalizing, life-giving, life-extending. Ras, amritam. When you're awake and your senses are functioning. Radharani is sleeping, swapna. And vilas amritam. Swapna vilas. Vilas is a special word. It means a very intimate exchange of love between Radha and Krishna, vilas. And vilas is also an anubhav of Madhurya Prem. It's called vilas. So this is happening in Radharani's sleep, and she's drinking nectar through her dreams. Radharani is drinking nectar through her dreams because she's dreaming of Sham and Vilas. Radha Sham Vilas. Vilas Amritam. So even in dreaming one has vision, and one drinks Amrit in dreaming. This is Braj. As our one friend told me, in Vrindavan, dreams are reality. And outside of Vrindavan, reality is a dream. In case you missed it. In Vrindavan, Braj Mandal Mein, Swapna is, how you say in Hindi? Sanchai? Sanchai. Oh, such, like truth, such. Dreaming is truth, oh, such. At any rate, I better stick with English and try to speak that. In Vrindavan, dreams are reality. And outside of Vrindavan, which means Delhi, Bombay, France, Russia, Moscow, New York, etc., outside of Vrindavan, reality, day-to-day hard facts reality is a swapna, dream. Radharani's dream is reality, and her reality is reality. And whether she's awake or asleep, or moving or sitting, or standing or sitting, moving, or anything she's doing, the reality of Radharani's reality is nothing but Krishna, everywhere. Jagokulam. So now Krishna practices a third try to see, will Vamsi, oh Vamsi Devi, now it's only a few nights till the Purnima, that big night, that spectacular night I've been waiting for months for. You must prove your worth. You must prove that I mastered, that you and I practicing together have so much power of enchantment and captivation. So then Krishna played so sweetly, so specially. And the deer came, and the peacocks came as before, and then the gopis came. The gopis came and met Krishna at midnight. It wasn't Ras Leela, it wasn't Maharaj. A few days before, a trial run. Lalita was there, Vishaka, hundreds of gopis, so beautiful. And they all gathered around. Krishna said, wow, it worked. I was able to control the gopis with my flute playing. I became so expert, so masterful. Oh, Vamsi. Wonderful, wonderful. Shabash, shabash. And then he was gazing. Ah, Lalita. Ah, Vishaka. Ah, Indulekha. Radha kahan? Priyaji kahan? Kahan? Where is Priyaji? Oh, I don't know. We all ran out of our houses in a flurry. We didn't look back. We didn't look right or left. Everyone just ran. I was standing next to Radha. I heard my name called on the flute. I ran. I was compelled. I was captivated. Manohara. I was whisked away, pulled away by the waves and vibrations of your flute, your sweet flute song. I didn't even notice. Oh, Lalita Vishaka, hey, Radharani kaha? Radharani kaha? Radha? Oh, Radha. And everyone's in tension and anxiety, and especially Krishna. All along for months I've been practicing to develop the power of my flute playing so I can call Radhika to my side for Ras Leela. Everyone has come, wonderful, gopis, more, Mrigakshi, But Radha, the Purnima's there, the Malika flowers, the Komodi flowers, the gentle breeze, the beautiful forest, Vanam, Komalam, Gobi, Ranjtitam. Oh, everything's so nice. Wonderful night for romance. Wonderful night for dancing. Cool breeze, beautiful moonshine. So lonely, so secluded place. But no Radha. Oh, Praneshwari. Oh, Radharani. Oh, my Priyaji. Oh, Vamsi. Kaisa. Kya hua? What happened? Everything worked. So much power you're manifesting for so many months. And today, then finally, very slowly coming. Oh, Sham. One old lady, very old lady, white hair, one stick, little bent over, very beautiful face, very golden face, very gentle, but old lady, very wise and gentle and beautiful. Oh, Sham. Purnamasi Devi. This is Purnamasi Devi. Sham. I come from Barsasana. Yes. Oh yes, Yogamaya, Devi. Oh, Purnamasi, yes. Bat karo. Speak. Sham. I know. Where is your Radha? Yeah. Oh, Purnamasi, please tell me, is Radha all right? Is she okay? Was she kept back? She couldn't get out? Those relatives, what happened? She couldn't go? What happened? No, Sham. Radha is